Hi, everybody. My name is Angelica Palacios. I'm the membership coordinator at the Latino Chamber of Commerce, and today I'm joined with Fred Galves, one of the attorneys here at Orona Garcia Galves. And we wanted to honor you guys for Member of the Month for May. So here's your certificate, and congratulations, Fred. We
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this. I'm going to keep this in my office. I'll be able to fit it up there with one of the paintings and everything. But thank you so much. This means a lot to us, especially Orona Garcia and Galves. And Pat Garcia, the three of us are partners, but he's been a long time legal stalwart in Pueblo. And he was on the board of the Latino Chamber for many, many years and on the foundation and that sort of thing. So we have a lot of history and affinity with the Latino Chamber and the Latino Foundation. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Of course.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's very well deserved. Fred, we were talking a little bit before about yourself and the other two lawyers. So if you don't mind giving us, oh, by the way, Fred is a board and foundation member with the Latino Chamber of Commerce as well. So we just appreciate, your work with Orona Garcia Galves, of course, and then also, of course, your work that you do with the Latino Chamber, a dedicated board and foundation member. Without them, a lot of things in the chamber wouldn't be possible. But let's circle back. Just a little bit of backstory about Orona Garcia Galves and how you guys, started up and where you are now.
Okay, well, the firm, actually, it's a long-time firm in Pueblo. A lot of people would recognize the name. It was Peterson and Fonda to begin with. And then Pat Garcia came and started working with Peterson and Fonda probably in the late 80s and 90s. And then Richard was a partner in a big firm up in Denver, although he lived in Pueblo. Both Pat and Richard are from Pueblo. Richard went to East and Pat went to Central. They make fun of me because I went to South, and so we're always fighting. Last year at the Cannon game, I thought South was winning, and they pulled it out at the last minute, so the whole family's been writing me about that. But we are three Pueblo boys. Pat's been here pretty much the whole time. He spent a little bit of time up at Sherman and Howard and some other law firms up in Denver. Then he came with Peterson and Fonda, and then Peterson and Fonda switched to Orona Garcia because then Richard came in with Pat Garcia. Now, all during that time, this is the 80s, 90s, 2000s and stuff, I worked in Denver at Holland and Hart, which was a large firm. And then I became a law professor. So I was a law professor for about 25 years. I taught civil procedure, evidence, and I love teaching the law, but it just, it's sort of very academic. I've written textbooks in that area, so I enjoyed it, but it just always intrigued me to think I teach this stuff and I hardly ever practice, or I know what it's really like to be a lawyer. So I wanted to have that experience. In California, I started consulting with firms, doing more political type of work and community engagement. And then finally, I came back to Pueblo, to my hometown. I worked at the CSU Pueblo as the community engagement. I was a special assistant to the president. But I started talking with Richard and Pat, and I saw the great things that their firm was doing. And they said, why don't you come and be a part of our firm? And then soon thereafter, I became a partner, and then just recently we renamed the firm, and so the three of us are partners, and it's Orona Garcia and Galves, and we all have our unique areas. Richard is much more into litigation, and Pat is more into public and private entity like corporate counsel, although Pat does litigation and Richard does some of that, and I kind of do all of the above and work with them. I'm also breaking out into mediation. I did mediation in California. I'm going to be doing that now. Nice. And then also we have an attorney who's going to be a foreign attorney consultant with us, who she worked for the foreign ministry in Chile, but she's going to come and work with us, and we're expanding into some international trade areas, both for U.S. citizens to do international trade abroad, and then a number, especially contacts that she has, individuals that may want to do business in Pueblo or Colorado or the U.S. So we do a lot of those areas, and then we do the traditional areas too. So personal injury, family law, wills, trusts, and estates, property disputes, real estate transaction, commercial real estate, and we represent a lot of public entities, school districts, different boards, uh, housing authority, a number of these. These are public, it's public record, so I can name that. But we have many, literally hundreds of clients that we do work for. So that's the background of the firm. Pat was I knew Pat for a long time, and both he and I went to Colorado College. I followed him, and then he went to Stanford Law School, and that was real inspiring for me. And I went to Harvard Law School, and so I've just always followed his career. So I feel very fortunate to be with just top flight attorneys,
Yeah.
Colorado attorneys,
Yeah.
both Richard and Pat, and how successful they've been. Richard represented huge corporations in Denver and was into insurance litigation. So although I spent all those years as a professor, I still feel like I'm learning every day from them. But they learn a little bit from me too, even if it is esoteric academic kind of stuff. But we're a good team, and I'm really fortunate to be a part of this organization. And I think we're not only just trying to do good legal work for our clients, but we care about Pueblo and the city and the commerce and business, and making sure that we're on the map in a positive way, and that we're trying to address all of the concerns, both legal, political, social. Pueblo, we have our challenges, but we love being from Pueblo, and we're very prideful about our town.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think the connection between you three is really what makes you guys stand out. Having that bond, shows 100% in everything that you guys do for the community of Pueblo. So that's great. Thank you for the backstory.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on, you guys actually were one of the sponsors for the 20th annual Tostada event that we had just a few weeks ago. What did you think about the event? That's one of our different events because it's a funny event, but also it's an interesting event. So fun to say the least. But what did you think about it?
Well, it was great. I really enjoyed it. The Latino Chamber puts on some great events at the convention center or Sangre de Cristo or in different places. This was a particularly nice event because the honoree, Yanera, she is just like an institution here in Pueblo. My mother knew her for years and years, and we knew the family, and just a great person, a great honoree. One thing, too, I liked about the event, not only was it so well attended, but the roasters, they were all extremely good. I was very impressed with each one of them. And when you do that, when you have amateurs doing kind of a professional roasting, you're thinking some of it can be cringeworthy, some of them are not funny. Some of them are telling inside jokes that you may not be aware of.
Yeah.
And then they miss the mark sometimes. Sometimes they're just too mean, and you're like, oh my God, that was horrible. Or they forget what it's about, and it's all just mutual admiration society. And we're saying, well, yeah, but it's a roast. But ultimately, it has to be funny and witty. And they were all there because we stayed there for so long. I mean, it was a very long event. But oftentimes when you have things like that, people will start leaving, or they'll say, well, I've listened to one or two, but I think we had like 6 or 8 roasters or something like that. So it was very, very, very good. A good event, and I really appreciate the Latino Chamber events. And it's a great way for the city to celebrate everything that we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Again, politically, legally, financially, business, in all those ways.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Fred, thank you so much. We appreciate you for taking time to talk to us. And again, we appreciate Orona Garcia Galves so much for the work that you guys do in the community of Pueblo. And, you will, as a board member and a foundation member, your work is important in what you do in Pueblo and for the Latino Chamber. So thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of the Latino Chamber, the Latino Foundation, but more important, just to make these connections with members of the community. And Pueblo can be very insular. We were all from here. And sometimes outsiders find it hard, like, the typical, where did you go to high school? And somebody's cousin, or something like that. But it's good when outsiders can come too, and we can make them feel welcome. And so it's part of this connection that we need to do, and to make sure that those powers in Denver and Boulder and even Springs don't forget about Southern Colorado,
Exactly.
which is very important. Sometimes nationally they think of Colorado, but they think of Denver, and they really need to be thinking about the whole state, and that is up to us to really market the entire state.
Yeah, I agree. Well, is there anything else you want to share?
No, that's it. Just very much a big thank you for doing this, and I look forward to other members of the month. That's what we have to do. Is part of this is just getting to know each other and know that we have our businesses, or our institutions, and what we're trying to do out there. And um, if you don't tell anyone, then we don't know. So this is why it's important, and this is why we think it's so important to be involved this way. So you can do well, but you can also do good. And if you can do both of those, then it's important. We want to do things not only because it's the right thing to do, but it also makes economic sense to do that, and that we build a better community for the future and our kids and everyone. So thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much, Fred. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.